do, 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 do. I love how it just immediately brings you back to where you were. That is so cute. I love that so much. Alright, let's make sure. Aw, Cho, you're still here. Welcome back. Alright, cool. I forgot to turn that off. I don't know why I didn't turn it off. There we go. Alright, great. We'll make sure everything works. Want to make sure we load the game. Okay, see, this is why I like to load it, because sometimes it'll just lead you back. One's a few more minutes in, so we're gonna go with the one that's a little bit more minutes in. Start playing from this. Yep. From here, we should be back at looking at, what is his name? 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤 something. I thought we were gonna be up for a while. Awesome! So, we're supposed to talk to this man. We're supposed to talk to this man. But I forgot how to do that. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so I think we're supposed to examine him. Yeah, we're supposed to look at him. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh! This is a critical point in my investigation. You know, I would hate to interrupt you, sir, but maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Sherlock seems that way, but he's not. He's usually a nice guy. Yes, perhaps it would be for the best. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Oh, God! What exactly were you doing with Kazuma's desk just now? Ooh. Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The rain is gone. The train of reasoning has ran its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I presume. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing towards crime, well, foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh. That's true. But how? How do you deduce? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It's really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. I am Japanese. You have 16 victims of assassinations in your wake, and you have traveled to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. I am once again Japanese and have done neither of those things. And when the 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤 occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. One more time. Japanese. Yes, I believe this summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Several things deceive these eyes. Like the fact that I am Japanese. Um, just to be clear, you're talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see any other? Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits that bill. So it's true. It was you who did this, Itsukazuma-sama. Girl, do I look Russian? Do I look like I have 16 people under my deathbed? You just saw me a few minutes ago. What is going on? What are you talking about? What? And you're plotting a revolution too. Do you just believe everything a man tells you? It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. Oh my god, she didn't even give me a chance to read that. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. I'm explaining it, but you're not listening to me. That's the problem here. This is ridiculous. She didn't even give me a chance to say nothing. She just decided on her own. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. You just assumed that whatever this guy said was true, so you just flipped me. You know what, lady? And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but I was not right. But was I not right? No! Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you did find yourself in the most troubling predicament, did you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that? Hmm? That you're like 25% right about the things you've just said. Well, to be honest, the ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. Well, I'm not really sure what you could call that a deduction. All deductions. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Ah, I don't think you've introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. And this is why you're not the real Sherlock Holmes, because he would have never deduced that I was a Russian anything. So, it is really you, the actual 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. The very same, the inedible, actual 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. Do you know this man, sister-son? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. Me, hi, haven't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He must have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Except for the fact that he's called me Russian, and you and I both know I'm Japanese! Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Well, let's talk to you, crazy man. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? No, no, no. I have no her. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Snow. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Radimus magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah, yeah, here it is. The Great Event, The Adventures of 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. So, you're the protagonist in this series of short stories then? Indeed I am. You know what I'm getting from him? He reminds me of that professor who was a fraud in Harry Potter series, where he was like taking credit for other people's work, and he was like, "Yes, that was me. I was so great." But the only spell he knew how to do was to make people forget their memory. So, I'm getting that vibe from him. And you read so many of your own stories, you started to think that you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not poor. I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your interference is backwards. Backwards? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presumably keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy lately. This pose I hate. Why, the very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is, to me, a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the smallest subtle of reactions in his subject, except you couldn't tell that I was Japanese. The funeral glance, a twitch of a muscle, the slight inclination of the posture. Me, wearing a Japanese suit. Why would I be Russian? Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows of the skin. All of these things are data. Well, I do agree with this, which is what I love about mystery stories, because every little thing is very crucial and important. You, however, are crazy. Aw, PJ, thank you for resubscribing for 9 months. I don't know why that didn't show up. Let's do it again. Yay! I can hear it again. I love seeing it. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is that without fail, the truth. Welcome, PJs. Thank you for, resubscribing for 9 months. Well, one of my longest subscribers ever. Appreciate that. Adore you so much. As demonstrated, I only started a few short moments ago. But you were wrong. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turnabout for observation and for deduction and fame. You were wrong about me. What are you not getting about this? Are you dumb? That is what makes me the one and only 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤𝕤. Right. Okay, Magic Man, tell me what happened to my friend, if you have solved everything. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most uncunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤𝕤. This is how I know this is not the real one, because he would never say his name this much. I see. In other words, you're the reason why I'm in handcuffs. I'm in these now because I'm. Hey, look at me going beforehand. When I became anxious about Kasuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among the number gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, lucky for everyone, the Greek detective 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤 was on board. Oh yes, I'm ever so thankful. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. This is not the time to get kinky with me. The very moment I laid my eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, do tell. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Ooh, I love how it changed. Let's find out what these two facts were, shall we? Please, do tell us. What two facts were apparent to you that when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yeah, I get that, but, you know, what were they? Allow me to elucidate. Elucidate, yeah. The two facts that I deduced from the mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, in rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left from the victim on the floor. Whatever that says. That's the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think her Kasuma-sama could have left the dying message in Russian? In its final moments, many find that native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian. Was he? Initially, I considered 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤𝕤 may be the name of the killer, a certain Robert Guinard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside of the wardrobe there at least, where we found you, Mr. 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤, sleeping soundly. My name doesn't even sound Russian. Do you not? Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. I'm not Russian! Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were an acquaintance. And if my memory serves, that outfit is a traditional dress of the Russian people. No! I'm Japanese! You know what? I'm about finished with this man. Our school uniforms are traditional dress of Russian people? I had no idea! Girl, are you just dumb? Are you just so infatuated with him that anything he says is right? He could literally say that the ground is, you know... He could literally say the sky is purple and you would be like, yes, I believe so. I understand that you're not allowed to have an education, but come on. And I had no idea detectives could get something so wrong. Well, sorry, wrong voice. And I had no idea that a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. I'm not. No, Kazuma baby. Oh. He just looks so bad on the floor. I hate it. This was taken sudden. Yeah. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This was the first time I actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo-san? No, I'm not. I'm in handcuffs. This crazy man keeps calling me Russian. Everyone thinks Kazuma is Russian. You keep flipping me upside down. What do you think is wrong with me? Oh, yes, thank you. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sloanes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said that I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining the train of reasoning to me, do you think? Don't know what that says, but certainly if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. Let's talk about that. Can we talk about your deduction before the things you concluded about me? I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate 𝕘𝕒𝕤𝕤 predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I'm more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 people part. Ah, yes, the more scoundrel details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have the morning paper. The main headline reads... Oh my god. It's the fact that I don't even look like this man, but sure. Revolutionary von Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. The vessel made a port called at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sloan has concluded that he was Russian because of what Kazuma wrote on the floor. Yes, it's painfully obvious that's what happened. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of the crime was the same merciless revolutionary. Merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him escape after the identity was discovered. What is the matter with you? Yes, you, 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. No, no, no. How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, are you a fearsome you are fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt to learn to revolutionize your appearance as well. Ugh, please. And might I add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of the assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Are you really entertaining this? Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds that man has perpetuated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about the revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. There are plenty of mistakes! Do revolutionaries usually agree to interview? Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about this part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returning after a period of subversion of activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. How accurate, because they're still war-torn, and we are not going to get into that. Where is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, get the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Thank you? I'm absorbed with all of that interests me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. And you may find an article on the back page very interesting as well. On the back? Cast your eyes over it sometime if it interests you. If the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret it. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there may be a picture or two. Huh. Can we do this? Okay, nope. I can't look at it because I don't have the option to look at it. Can I do? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's look at the article. So... blah blah blah, the Russian thing on the back of the article. Hello! Is this what he's talking about? Oh, no! Come back. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no. I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor could I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess. Do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed the article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up anywhere. Hold on, if I'm Russian, don't you think I should be able to read it? Wouldn't you be trying to see if I could read it to prove whatever theory that you're going with? Why would you sum it up for me? It's about the disappearance of the young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤 ballet disappears from Shanghai. So many people are going to Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. A Russian name so hard to remember. You are telling me, dear. It would appear that the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which was worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable amount of money. So that those sound like shiny like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤 ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. I mean, the woman is gone with like this expensive crown on her head. How could you not be worried? Yeah, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. 1 second. Okay. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. That's racist. I'm not even going to identify that with the response, Mr. Another Hero. Because that's racist. That's wrong to say. Okay, so we know what's going on with her. Is there anything else that I'm missing, maybe? Okay, nothing else seems to be highlighting, so I think that's it. So... let's see. I want to make sure... okay, so I think that's it. I think we're gonna go next to the next thing. What were you just investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's death, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? I thought we'd get that information from Mr. Brilliant over here. Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Zuma was keeping notes of this trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It would upset people. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps interlude before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do. What other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Then how do you not know I'm Japanese, man? Oh, I see. Well, you were about to know what a Sato takedown is. Well, you're about to know what a Sato takedown is. Yeah, she's not gonna flip him. Sato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Oh, don't play dumb, girl! Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim, it would appear that the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author was cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of this writing? Pray by precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, boy, dear boy. A smattering. Well, a smattering. I'm not saying a smattering. Sayonara, Bonsai, Makatodo, Noda. I trust you suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can only read precisely none. What was all that showing off about for then? If you'd be so kind to show me, I'd be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sloan. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma's diary consists of just 2 sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear something. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard of that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Zoom type have been added to the court records. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. No! You've gotten everything wrong. I just, whatever. Huh. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writing in his diary has piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasick takes hold. Oh, I suppose. I suppose you were thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤 connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exhilaration, which is true, which is why Sherlock used to get high all the time. So yes, I tend to investigate, hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No. There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who deduced that I was a culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as a culprit at any point. Sir, then why do I have handcuffs on me? You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I did hear you say that too. You quite sure? Well, it's very strange. I wouldn't have said that you were the face of the criminal, you know. Not really. So, what were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, there was then and this is now. Oh yes, I have declared you as a murderer. It was like, okay, but can I have ways to prove I'm innocent? No, because like, you know, obviously look at your predicament. But then you just said I wasn't a murderer. I never claimed you. I never called you a murderer. Yes, you did. In the words of 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤, I am very tired. This man is so annoying. I would say why people like him. Like he is like an insult to like the actual Sherlock Holmes. It's really like a fan fiction someone wrote a Sherlock Holmes, but it just made him like dumb. Well, what do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. I already hate him. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhito-san, what were you just standing there for? Hmm? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Would you stop flipping me over, woman? After Kazuma-san spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're just willing to give up? I am so floored with how everyone is just doing what they want with me. You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? You don't even believe me yourself. You're over here believing this man who you've never met, who is clearly off of his rocker, who just called me a Japanese man whom was just in Japan with you, a Russian. Lady, seek help. If you give me any choice in rolling over a part. I still think we have some investigation to finish off here, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Well... How do we even know we can get out? Into that so-called detective, I'm even more stuck inside the cabin than I was before. For the time being, I suppose I'll just have to focus on my efforts of investigating here. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to say something else. I'm like, how do we know that the guy's gonna let us out? Like, watch. I have a good feeling we won't be... excuse me? What? I was wondering if I could ask you for a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? Grandmother told me the Japanese people do not make jokes. But it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking permission... The criminal asking prison guards to help him escape? Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Nyeh! You stay in cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they want to do with you. You stay! Alright. There's no point trying to appeal to this man. It's better nature, that's for sure. Well, as I figured, we're not allowed out, but that's okay. Okay, let's see here. Let's just go with whatever starts to like highlight. Oh, look, we got a highlight here. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all on the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I was asleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is this? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No, no, no. It looks wrinkled, like somebody like pushed all that stuff on the floor. Wait a minute. That's interesting. Hello there. When I went for help in the crewman forced the door open. The boat has been firmly closed. This is quite a small boat, but particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to ensure the door is shut. But still, with the door bolted, there'd be no way to get in or out of that cabin, that's for sure. No wonder everybody suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from the outside of the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they're seated together perfectly. There'd be no possibility of that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all down my spine. Oh, a new person! Hey, look over there! The crewman. Do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again, but I suppose I could try. Hello, newbie! Please tell me something. Let's go examine him. Let's click on him. Is that something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help but feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes, what can I do for you? Are you serious? I recognize that face, but can it be? What are you doing on this ship? Tuberculosis, son. Why are you here? I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hazunoga. Ew! Hello again. What are you doing here? I think it should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board this ship. They let you still work after what you did in the last kid? Bruh. I'm gonna need the Japanese police academy or whatever you call them to get their shit together, because this is beyond insane. Oh my god. One second, I'm looking at something really fast. Okay. There we go. I can't believe they trusted him, like, again? You certainly seem to be enjoying undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can help you to with, please ask. I would like to know why on earth you are here, and who hired you to be here, and why are they not fired? That's what I would like to know. I never expected to see this man on board, or to still be having a job, but perhaps his presence can help me out with this hopeless situation. I mean, maybe he has... Maybe he can help us with proving that we're Japanese to the clearly stupid detective here. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Maybe we can still talk to him about what his special... Oh, we can't talk to him. Great. So, your special orders. So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? Don't get silent on me, buddy. Tell me the truth. I'm so sorry. Hmm? This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asanaga-san's bodyguard. It was the Ministry of Justice jo Jiguko who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with the ensuring that Asanaga-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could he even have... How could that have even been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the great British powers. Clearly, they matter more than, like, the actual Japanese citizens. Ministry Jungoku said we should prepare for all the eventualities. incredible. I don't believe it. Kasama-san was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give a Sahuga-san visible security escort, which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. Well, you're not really reliable if you know the last case is anything to go on. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside of my own cabin, not here on the first deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asahuka-san is dead as the result. That's what I'm feeling, dear. I hate it too. I'm such a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all that I could do to help now, just say the word. I don't know how useful you'd be, but you know. Maybe we can get his permission to investigate. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so you need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, the stormy-looking seamen here will surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how... There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me out of your innocence, Sarahuda-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when we're not in court. You must have done it so many times during your trial. Simply select the panel button and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use. So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright. Yes, I think I might know what we could use. I should hope so. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. Let's see here. I think it's this one. This one. A. How do I do this? E? Court record. I don't have the option to present it. Oh. This one? Hmm. I'm trying to do that, but how do I do that? Did I forget the button for it? Hold on. Hmm. I can't present it, and I don't know how. I'm like doing everything in my power to present it, and it's not letting me. Maybe I have to go back. Oh, that's how. Okay, well, we figured it out. I was like, how do I present it? What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-san wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what that meant by that, but we'd like to know is... What we'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. The ventilator, sorry, I'm drinking water as I take pauses. The ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right, so if we could just investigate in there, we might be able to work out the speckled band was. Alright then. He's gonna let us through? I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove the handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I would lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Anasaga-san alive. This is the least I can do. Good man. Let me through. Let's seize the moment then, Harutoto-san. Yes, I'm aware of how to move. I want to know how we're supposed to get out when that guy just clearly said he would kill us. Do, 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 do. 9th of January, 7:48 a.m. SS 𝕒𝕠𝕤𝕤, first class cabin passageway. Phew, I'm finally out of the cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and the most luxurious accommodation. And this is the most luxurious accommodations. Yes, indeed. 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤 was sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even so, this is twice as large as my accommodation in 𝕤𝕒𝕠𝕔𝕚𝕤. Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. There's another crewmate keeping watch, and he looks ginormous. Enormous. Even if he's sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. What little boy you know visits a toy shop with handcuffs on? I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside the 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been very tiring time for you. Please don't give me that pitiful look. Alright, so let's examine what we have out here since we're now in a different place. So let's examine Big Bruska here. I apologize if that's an offensive word, my bad. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You, little stowaway murderer. That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask you something? You little third-class lady maid. Ah! Oh. You seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Sato-san. I'm not sailor. My mother gave me my name. No, I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman Sof Stroganoff. Poof, the best thing is to avoid eye contact, I think. Right. Hi, how are you, Buff? Biff? Mr. Stroganoff. About the first class cabin area. Here we are in the finest part of 𝕒𝕠𝕤𝕤 steamship for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, knights, queens, traveling secret, many important persons. This is why I'm always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing! But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you into the ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you? If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Asahara currently occupied? Whatever that is. I have not learned Russian. I usually know a lot of languages, but Russian is not up there with the languages that I know. I apologize. Do you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes or no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there's somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Can we talk to you about the guest next door, maybe? Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next door, Mr. Kazuma? His name is Mr. 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. He's a very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with the murders of Student Boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. 𝕤𝕤𝕤 is an authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would not have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East islands. Wow, just say you hate the Japanese, why don't you? That was harsh. Could you tell us where Mr. 𝕤𝕤𝕤 came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time. I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there was anyone there. Well, presumably, since the gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important, is that right? That is none of your business. Well, ain't you just like the other people in the next story? Just so helpful. Well, can you tell us about last night? Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stilgoff? Da, all the time. Some criminal like you couldn't come in and get out. Yet I was able to sneak in anyway. Oh! I wonder... Could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is a sad about Student Boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. Why are you hesitating? And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Yet! Sato-san, do you understand that? It was clearly a no! I saw nothing unusual, nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything that was... Hold on, why are you looking away? Huh. Or sense anything wrong in some ways, sir? Hi, focus, eye contact, you and me. I said no. But you looked away before you said no. And if there's anything about a liar is that they usually can't make eye contact with you. So, please tell me what it is that's on your mind, dear. Sorry. I am not sure. I'm not sure. I could have sworn that he couldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Oh, we were sure. I saw him look away. This is enough. I cannot say any more now. Oh. It is time to report to the captain. You must return to cabin. Yes. Alright. Bulkhead to second-class area is staying locked away at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as the English say, when the pigs fly. Yeah, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Examine a little bit. Okay. Let's examine the door. That's the way to the second class area of the ship. Is something wrong? I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach the handle of the door... The burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. You think? No, I started with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Let's see. Let's look at this desk. The book on top of that table there is really huge. There's a pen with it too. Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means that there was nothing to report. Or they just didn't report something. This looks like a plan of the SS Bora. It shows each deck look. The Bora is a large-scale steamship with triple steam skin hull with a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they're enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. But they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily in the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Okay, mind you, everybody, she doesn't have an education. Women are not allowed to go to school, so she's only believes in whatever's there to believe. So yeah. There's nothing else that I think we need to see here, so I think we need to go and look this way. This is the door. This is next door. Let's look at the door. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-san wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in that cabin can help that particular mystery. Let's ask. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Let's see here. Oh, what's this? What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm? It says, press only in times of emergencies. It looks as though it sets off alarm bells ringing all over the ship and bring the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this is why I have to— What are you doing, Mr. Hart? You mustn't touch it. This is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring the vessel to a standstill for no good reason, we'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop, the ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside. I'm about to break down the door. Mr. Sloanes! I shan't be stopped. When it fits on me, I rattle the kicking doors to their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sloanes! The door doesn't appear to be bolted. Hello, Duke. It doesn't? And how the deuce can I get past the muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I think we should just go in. There's no time to stress relief. 9th of January, SS 𝕒𝕠𝕤, first class cabin, number 2. Who are you? And why do you have giant scissors in your hand? A Western gentleman. The man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But if that's the case, who just screamed? Get out! All of you! Now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. 𝕤𝕒𝕤, I believe? Yes, that's me. And you are? I'm the one and only, the actual 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. You heard of me, no doubt? No. I'm the great detective among the great detectives, one who adores the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you must trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like it's a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe like this time. So I might be as bold to ask you to open that small traveling case. Not the one that's clearly on the side that looks like you could hide a small person. Nope. What? Don't be stupid. How can anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk? Don't look at me. Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruto-san? The case just shook! Leave! Now! Otherwise, I'll call the steward! Ooh, what are you gonna do? Cut off our hair to death? So this is Mr. Kuma's neighbor, Mr. 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. There's no doubt about it. The strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree even more. Let's see if we can find the clues before that burglar sailor returns. Let's examine stuff. Ooh. Sir, what are you doing? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Schultz? You need to only address me as Slums. That's what I just said, isn't it? Well, Mr. Slums, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call upon my great powers of detectives into service. Oh! And it would seem that an hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually. You're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host is in the cabin, Mr. Boyle. It's clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what's the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Vodka? That's wrong. I'm sorry. That was terrible. I'm sorry. Why, the truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusive for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russians would react when their secret guard so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please! Well then, what are you about to see may astound you. For I'm about to apply my great detective, greatly admired, great deduction to this case. Could this man be more of a hackett portrayal of a dominant Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me, is the fellow dubious of an account of a Russianness, or the Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right. And Mr. Sherlock, and Mr. Sherloms. Oh my god, I hate this. I know this beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on the first meeting, but once I've read, it is capital mistake to theorize before you have evidence. It bases the judgment. Shh! I must complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I've quite made up my mind now. Hmm? There could be no other explanation than the accommodations of all the facts. Mr. Roland, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. And those shears are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh. And number two, and the other conclusion I've drawn, you are, at this very no less, in the midst of committing a most gratuitous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah! Oh, Mr. Naruhiro-san, I've imagined I would have witnessed one of Mr. Holmes' great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive Mr. Holmes. In a slight glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What? Oh yes, I read about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and now experience the astonished impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true. Calm your panties. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roland's face. He and I are the same. No, nobody is dying left and right in this game. Doesn't usually happen in Ace Attorney like that. That somehow both Mr. Sherlock's conclusions were right. How could you... How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Very well then. I shall explain how it is I've arrived at this pair of conclusions. So I do accordingly invite you on my journey to logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Topic 1. Old man identity. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Holman, obviously what catches the eye in the first place. I'm actually going to save it here, and we'll get back to this, and we'll go through the whole case again. We'll go through the whole case here. I am going to leave this here. Save complete. Awesome. And then I'm going to do this. Boop! And go back here. Let's go here real fast. Hi. I hope that you had a great time with this with me lately. I have missed you guys so much. It feels good to stream again. It is taking a lot out of me though. So we're ending a little early, but that's mainly because I feel my throat getting a little tight, and it's time for dinner. Oh, don't worry, I'm definitely going to hydrate. Don't you worry your pretty little noggin. Today has been really great. I really have missed all of you so much, and I hope that you've all had a lot of fun with me. Next, on Wednesday, we are going to play the last case, the last chapter of the FamCon Detective. We should be wrapping it up and having that done. Then we're going to be... What are we going to be doing after that? Oh! Boyfriend Dungeon. We're going to be playing Boyfriend Dungeon again. Love that game. And then on Friday, we'll hopefully have what we need for Friday. I'm hoping that I have the person I need or whatever. But I hope you enjoyed my cafe. I hope you loved how it looked. I hope you had a great time here. It is time for us to close for tonight, unfortunately. But I will see you again next on Wednesday. Sorry, I would say next week, but it's Wednesday. I want to raid someone, and I hope that I'm allowed to raid people. I hope I can. But thank you so much for joining me, and as I'm closing up, I'm going to send you guys off to one of my dear friends. So have a good night, eat well, rest well, and then I'll catch you later.